really appreciate it. Learning Sfas Emmes is not a small thing. Sfas Emmes is a lot of my Rebbeim, the people that I was very makusha to, that was their Rebbe, like their Tzaddik and Baruch Shem. In terms of Torah, that was who they were bokiim in, experts in. Like the Ton the Rebbe, he doesn't just know all of the Sfas Emmes and on the Torah and on Shas. He also knows all his michtavim, every single letter, and he remembers it about pair. Like I was in the car with another Tzaddik, Rav Simai Zilberberg, who's a Talmud of the Am Shinobi. He mentioned Am Shinobi. This Tzaddik's a Talmud of the Am Shinobi. He goes to him for his shilas, and because Rav Shlomo just mentioned the Am Shinobi. So the idea of Shlita, so the idea of these kind of people that they learn the Sfas Emmes, we're learning tough Reish Nun Vav. That they learn the Sfas Emmes not just like a nice Torah Chasidus, like some nice drush or something to give over the Shabbos table. Like they learn it. Be'in, Be'kiyas, they learn it about pair. I've listened to in the car one time, he was on the phone to his brother, another Ger Chassid. I mean, originally they were Ger, because, the Sfas Emmes was very much part of the Ger Chassidus, obviously. He was one of the original Ger Rebbes. And even though the Rav Simai is not officially Ger, but he still obviously is, that's his makor, that's where he learns from. And they were going back and forth in dates. They weren't even saying the Torahs, like it was all Dibur HaMaskil. What's the Dibur HaMaskil? The dates. It says in this time, that Torah, this thing, that, and they just through the dates, they knew the whole Torahs. The whole Peladik, listening to the conversation, and back and forth in the dates, which is like, whole Torahs. Yeah, I mean, these are people who are, Davik to Torah Mamish, like what Rav Shlomo was talking about. It's like a Spalas and Nefesh Mamish. Okay, so you're learning good things. Okay. So let's learn B'midrash, B'pasuk.
B'pasuk, Pasalecha.
Pasalecha, this week's Parshat, Sisa.
So he says, Pasalecha v'chulei. V'yagid lecha ta'alamot hochma.
I'm going to say to you.
He says to you, I'm going to raise up
no, the hidden. Ta'alamot, so we say it in Ana B'koyach. That's why at the end of Ana B'koyach, we scream out. So we scream out, we say, when you scream out, you will know the hidden secrets.
The hidden secrets, okay. So
it's also from Helen, maybe.
Talamos Chochma, the
hidden
wisdoms.
Yeah.
Harishonim lo haya behem, rak asarat diburot, v'achronim haya behem midrash v'agada v'chulei. So he says over there.
Get it? We're doing the first tablets, yeah.
Right. He says the first tablets only had in them rak asarat diburim. Right. He had the 10 sayings.
The 10 commandments, because sayings is we have to make chiluk,
but it's not really 10.
The reason why I'm saying 13. The reason why I'm making chiluk because the Esa Maimoros is the 10 sayings of creation. Okay. And the Esa Dibros is more strong language.
Fine.
The commandments. Sorry, I just want to be medayik because of the way the Torah is.
So V'achronim, and the second tablet, Hayabehem Midrash V'agada V'chulei. They had the 10 statements, 10 commandments. Yeah. And they also had the Midrash and they had the Agada.
So in them, it says Behem, the Yud Behem Midrash V'agadus. So there's some for reason it was hidden. Yeah, it was hidden in all these midrashim and agadis. That suddenly the 10 commandments became a different surah. He doesn't say the word surah, but he didn't marach. He just brings the midrash very bekitzer like he always does. But the way I'm visualizing is the first is very clear and it is what it is, and then it became a much more hidden. You have to go through many midrashim and agadis to understand the second tablets. Yeah.
Dihine berishonim ksiv. Charut al haluchot darshu chazal cheirut.
Yeah.
Cheirut, like freedom.
Yeah, freedom.
Right. So he says Dehina v'rishonim ksiv. So he says, behold, it said in the first ones, cheirut al.
Yeah. So they engraved on the luchos, like right? Engraved. There's an engraving.
The language of engraving on the tablets.
Carving out, like all the way through.
And then deep. He says, Darshu Chazal. Chazal made a drasha on that statement. Chirut, like freedom.
Very good.
Ichsiv, as it says, the Behaluchot Ma'aseh Elokim
Hema.
Hema, meaning the Luchot were the Ma'aseh Elokim. This was the doings or the actions of God.
Yes.
Hayu devukim be'elokuto itvarach shemo kamo shahayu muchanim ben Israel.
Yeah.
In the same way that Ben Israel was prepared, b'sha'at mitoch matan Torah liyot k'malachim kamo shekatuv amarti elokim otam וכמו שהיה אדם הראשון קודם החטא היה עולה ויורד בעולם העליון ותחתון. Right? So he's saying a few things here.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Well, he's saying that it was written on these first Luchot, Ma'aseh Elokim, like the doings of God. Hama shahayu devukim be'elokuto yitvarach. Like these things that were close to godliness, you should be blessed.
Yeah, davik is like the vacuum is hard to translate cleaving. Like it's not karov would be close. Like the vacuum would be cleaving, like a deep to what we're here for, to be davik to Hashem, to. And that's the luchos. The first luchos, these were godly luchos, and they were davik. They were in its godliness. There was no like when you looked at them or anything to do with them. It was just pure godliness. It wasn't any separation between the godliness that created them.
Okay, you brought
just like Bnei Israel at the time.
At the time of Matan Torah,
they prepared themselves liyot. They wanted to be like angels.
He says,
they became godly. Bnei Israel.
In order to be like angels, Kamosha Katuv Amarti Elokim Atem.
Yeah.
He says, as it says in the pasuk that I said Elokim Atem. Like
you became like God.
You became like God.
It's amazing to think about that. What high level we reached, and what was this level? He goes on to say, like you already just read.
Adam Rishon. He says, and this level is similar to like the first Adam Rishon. Before he sinned, Haya Ole v'Yored be'olam ha'lion.
Yeah, Gavaldik.
Right, he would go up and down to the higher worlds and to the lower worlds.
And the Malachim didn't know. They were like,
where does that come?
Yeah, God above, God below. Like it's all.
Or Chaim Bereshit Yadad Keneged. I mean, that's a midrash or something. That's what happened.
Oh, you've got notes. I don't have these. Or Chaim Bereshit, yeah.
Okay, so you bring it down.
Keneged Krisis Shem. Okay, very nice. You've got. It's good to have that. Let me know if there's anything interesting. You can always look it up.
Oh, there you go. Okay, so Be'olam ha'alon we're talking about. Okay, V'lechein nivra ha'adam liot kalul me'elyonim v'tachtonim. So he says, therefore he created man in order to be kalul me'elyonim v'tachtonim. Kalul is like what connected to both. To include both of them.
The higher and the lower worlds.
To include both the higher and the lower worlds.
Yeah, we have to realize that we're not just down here, even though it feels like it sometimes. We have connection to higher olamas. If you go into Tanya, you start to understand a little bit that we are always connected to Sfiras Elyonim, and each Sfira Elyonim, set of Sfira Elyonim go through higher and higher worlds. So down here is Olam Asiyah, the word of action. And then there's the word of Yitzra'el, which is a loose translation. We have to use English as formation. And then we have the word of Bria, which is creation. And then we have the Olam Atzilus, which is like I don't even know how to translate this. Like it's etzah, like near. Like it's not a good translation. I don't know. But the point is that as you go up into these higher worlds, this is who we all have a connection. Our Shoresh Neshama goes up into those higher worlds. When we were brought down as a Neshama into this world and were created initially by our parents, our Neshama came from these higher worlds. And Tzaddikim are able to even go make Tiyulim in these higher. That's Pardes when they go through the garden of Torah, Parshat Remez Rosh Slod, they're entering into these different higher realms. Yeah. And this is something which, there's called Elias Neshamas, you can go up to the higher worlds. Tzaddikim like the Baal Shem Tov Kodesh used to take his Talmidim up into the higher worlds. This is a mitzvah that we live with. We just unfortunately become a bit physical, so we don't think so much about other than this
It's
world.
hard to get to.
But we do every day when we daven. Every day we daven. Just it's nice to know this, an extra little idea that when you go through davening, there's 4 levels you're going up through. You start off in korbanos, that's asiya, action. That's fine, and we say the whole korbanos, hopefully, if you have time. Then you go to Bezuki de Zimra, that's olam yitzir. Then you go to Birkas Krishma, that's olam bria. And then you go to Shemon Esrei, that's olam atzilus. And your concept is you're entering into higher and higher worlds, going up the Shem Havaya till you enter the most close place with Shemon Esrei. And every day we do this avodah of going up, and then we have to bring that energy, the ashpah, the divinity we connected with, down to this world so we can elevate this world. It's part of what we do. We do this every day.
Okay, beautiful. Le'ani v'taktoni. V'zeh yikar ha'chirut. Shelo yitkasher ha'nefesh v'guf v'yochal la'olot b'kol et kamo Eliyahu ha'navi.
Alav Hashem.
Allah shamayim v'yareh.
Yeah, he's a great dogma.
Right? He says, like, this is a great example. So he says, this is like the freedom that we're not connected to the soul.
So the nefesh guf, like the soul of in the guf.
The soul in the.
They can get stuck like thorns, like all pull you down, you know.
And then you'll be able to.
He wasn't connected like that.
And then you could go up at any moment.
Yeah.
Just like Eliyahu and Navi.
Good times, Eliyahu. Up, down in Shemayim.
Up, down. All
Yeah.
around.
Elisha is like, calling out, Abba, where's my father go? Screaming out. His chariots flaming up into Shemayim, like his Rebbe's going up, and we know that he comes back down every month. He's Malach HaBris, he's escaped to Misa, and he's up and down into the higher worlds, into lower worlds. And people have Gilu Eliyahu till now, hopefully, and I think I had one once. Not because I was a tzaddik, because the Shemad Rachmanis in me needed to get me out of university and living in a Schmutzland. So he sent me an Eliyahu Novi in the form of a goy to just like get me out of that world. I have a whole story. We'll get into it one time. A few l'chaims. Okay. Yeah.
Allah shamayim v'yareh. L'chein ksiv asher chotzesi etchem eretz Yisrael. Shena'asu b'nei chorim she'achlu l'kabel chaluchot shehem cherut.
Yep.
He says that we make these b'nei horim she'achlu l'kabel haluchot shehem cherut.
Yeah, and then look, it's perfect timing because the Chag HaCherut is Pesach. We're going out of Mitzrayim. And that's the idea that we get these luchos to complete that journey, the 50 days, the Sfira, complete it with the luchos, which just gives us chayris, freedom. True freedom. Ruchnius freedom. We're not stuck in the guf. We're not stuck in the lower worlds. We have a neshama goes up and down, like Adam Rishon, Kodem HaChayim. Remember, this is all the first luchos, yeah? We haven't got to the second luchos, yeah?
V'cherutu kamo
this was a little bit hard. I had to ask a rabbi, even he didn't know this.
Deror.
Yeah.
Shedarshu chazal.
Yeah.
What's deror?
Deror is freedom. We talk about it when we have Yovel. Yovel, we have the idea of Deror ba'aretz. There'll be freedom in the land. We sing Dori Cry every Shabbos.
Shenikra sapur.
Yeah.
Deror.
So this is the Freebird, and it's not a heavy metal band. Freebird, there is a band like that, isn't there? I just made it up.
There's a famous song called Freebird.
Oh, that's I forgot. Sorry. Baruch Hashem, my memory is not so good in that world anymore.
Shenikrat Sipur Dror, right? It's called the Freebird. Sheyesh lo cherut keme dayar bi.
Yeah, this I don't know. Honestly, we'll have to look it up. It's the Gemara in Shabbos.
Sehura.
Schora is like merchandise. But the main nakuda of this Gemara that brings in Shabbos is to quote this concept of this free bird. It's this bird that flies around, and it doesn't allow itself to get captured. So when it comes to Hilchos Shabbos,
right,
the halachas of sod of trapping an animal in a house, you lock a door and leave the animal inside. Most animals it's the rice or a rabbanon. This bird is so nimble that you don't even get din of sod. You didn't do the malach of sod. It's a free bird. It's impossible to, even in the house, it won't be able to be caught. It'll fly around and you won't be able to get it.
Hanashama nikraat sapur dror.
Yeah.
And so too,
good
the
example.
neshama is going to be called free bird.
Yeah, it's not going to be like pulled down by anything. Like no matter how much you're busy, but if you're connected to the first Luchos, nothing can pull you down in this world because you've connected to Nitzchias and you're Kodem Achet and you're in a different level of Neshama and Ruchnias. You don't have the physicality, the Chamorius that's so strong like it is nowadays. We're talking about an ideal time. We'll get back there when Mashiach comes. Good times ahead. You know?
Times ahead.
Yeah, have to keep looking forward to it.
V'chein haya hakatuv.
Till then, it's a MASHA war.
She'al haluchot ole v'yored.
Yeah.
Right? He says, and therefore we have the pasuk that she'al haluchot that on these
Went up.
on these tablets ole v'yored.
Went up. Went down.
V'chein darshu chazal. She'achar hachata.
Here we go. This week's Parshat. Getting a bit painful now.
Min haluchot.
Yeah.
So he says, and therefore says Hazal that after the sin
of the eagle. He doesn't say it, but that's what it means. Yeah.
Parchua otiot min haluchot. There was a certain parchu is like what, smudged?
Flied away.
Yeah.
The Osis flew out of the
Luchos.
letters
from the Luchos. Perush kshe'alu v'chazru el haluchot ube'avor hachata lo hayu yicholim lehit dabek od bechaluchot shelamata.
Oh, so it's a good reason why they flew away.
He says, Perush
yeah.
kshe'alu v'chazru.
When it went and returned,
when they went up and returned el haluchot ube'avor hachata.
This is why, but this
the sin, lo hayu yicholim lehit dabek. They couldn't draw closer anymore.
Yeah. It's interesting. It's the other way around how we'd think about it. We'd think that we're being pulled down by this YITZCHAK. But really it's this high acoustical letters of the Osius. They were so high and code and Davik to Hashem that they couldn't be with the Luchos anymore because they got pulled down because of the sin. So they flew away.
Okay.
It's the opposite way around how we'd think about it. It's like meaning the neshama is such a big light and wants to come to our goof, but the problem is if we're doing sin, it's like ugh, you know. Right. So it sort of flies off. It doesn't get to enter us completely like it should.
Right?
Yeah.
And he says because the writing and the luchot and the tablets, they are like the nefesh and the body.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to do that example. The nefesh is going to get scared off by this icky body that's doing stuff that's nothing to do with it. It's like, what are you doing worshipping this other, this is the eagle? It's ridiculous, yeah?
Right. So
it's a Avodah Zarah. What are you doing? It's Issa, Deraisa, like, Hashem's giving you the Torah and you're doing the opposite.
So he says, V'lachein achar shenit kablu b'nei Yisrael b'tshuva
So what happened after Bnei Israel tshuva was makabel? What did we went through? First, there was let's just state it. There was Yud Zayin B'Tammuz. This week's parsha is mentioning the Shviras Luchos. Yeah, right. That happened in this week's parsha. Then it talks about the whole tefillas of Moshe Rabbeinu during the days of anger, all the way up to Rosh Chodesh Elul. Yeah. Then it sort of jumps, but it doesn't really explain it fully. It's more explained clearer in Parshat Zekev, but it goes through the Yemei Elul until Yom Kippur. That's another 40 days, and those 40 days are days of Eitz Ratzon and Rachamim. And when we turn around and we do tshuva, and then what happens Yom Kippur? This is now 80 days since we did the original Chay and the Luchos was smashed, then Hashem now gives us a second Luchos. This is what we're getting to now. But it's after our tshuva. We have to do tshuva. Yeah. So he gave us these other Luchos, but in a different way. Yeah. Midrashot. Yeah. Right? It's now clothed in a different way.
The Torah to be clothed in this midrashot.
Yeah. And midrashot is like drushes, it's all deep,
right, deep
svaras and agudas and stories You can read some of these stories in Chazal, what is going on. So you open up like a Luchot Maran, like Kisvei Ari, like deep Sfarim, they'll start to explain it. But unless you have, or B'nai Yodo, like B'nai Yishchai, if you don't have those Sfarim, you're not going to really know what's going on.
What's going on in the Drushes?
Yeah, it's hard. Goodness as well. A Goodness Gemara, very difficult.
And we call this the hidden wisdom.
Yeah.
Right? Kodem haya hakol behit galut or kitov. Right? It says earlier we called all of them
or kitov.
The revelation of the light because it was good.
Yeah, but there was no like Hester, there was no Helam. Now it's unfortunately is a bit more covered up.
Ksiv mekodem yud gimel midot, and thus it's written before the yud gimel midot. V'hu kamo yud gimel midot shehatorah nidrashet behem.
Yeah. Right.
It says, and this is like the 13 midos. The Torah is taught or
darshan
via, right?
Expounded is the word.
Expounded upon.
Yeah.
V'katuv b'sfarim ki hayud gimel midot hem shoresh hayud gimel midot shehatorah nidrashet behem. So he's saying that the yud gimel midot
of Rachmim, in this week's Parshat,
right?
Shem Hashem Kol Rachmim V'chan and Erech Apam Rav Chesed Emmes Nosach
Because those midot are actually the shoresh of the Yud Gimel midot that the Torah is expounded with.
Yeah, and look how we enter and before we finish off Kabbanas, we end off with this. We say this every day. We say it every day. Awaken that Nakuda.
It's all one matter.
Yeah.
Ki mekodem lo hayatzrichin le'ele hamidot. Ki haTorah aruka me'eretz midah.
Yeah.
So he says that beforehand we were not needed le'ela hamidot, like to go up with the midot.
Yeah.
Ki haTorah aruka me'eretz midah. So the Torah is long from the land of
attributes,
qualities.
Yeah. So we have to sort of now go through this whole Yugamin Sidrash to open up really what the Torah is saying. It wasn't fairish anymore. Originally, the Luchos we shown us, it was all kitov. It was light, and it was good, and it was able to be revealed. Now it became through drushes and through agadas and through midrashim and breaking a head open to masig. And it's how painful when I first came to Gemara, when I about tshuva with all the shtus in my head, and I had to sit there in a base midrash day after day, and people in my family were like, "What are you doing in Israel?" What's kind of nobody understood what was going on. Learning the Talmud, what's that? And I was sitting there breaking my head day after day, trying to understand a few Aramaic words and Rashi. Didn't even know how to read Rashi. I had to figure out how to learn and read Rashi, and to write on every single word and every single Masechta that I had the merit to learn, and had all different chavruses and people helping me. So eventually, with all the different Rebbeim and Torah and Tefillas and Hashem's Rachmanis and listening to hundreds and hundreds, eventually start to suddenly get a little bit. It starts to make a bit of sense, but it's painful, the process, because it's not light, it's not revealed, it's not open, it's not instant. Right. It's a lot of work and a lot of years of dedication, and and especially when you're at an older age, so you have a lot of pressure on you. Like, get married, you got bills, you got this, you got that. But you still got to figure out how to do this and understand it. And you've seen, like, slowly Hashem starts to give it to you. Then it starts, after all the Amelis, you start to get a little bit of light inside the darkness in the tunnel, and you start to see it open up. And you made the bris, and suddenly things start making more sense. Because you've revealed another level of yourself. Like, it's slowly Hashem builds us.
Right.
It's a very special, like, spiritual journey we all go on in our own way, for our own chelik of Torah. And you have to thank Hashem. If you're able to find the way of that time to dedicate, like you're doing now, it's a big bracha. But it's the only way to get into the learning, because it's not going to be instant.
Right.
Not like when the Luchos Rishonis. It's Luchos Achronis. It takes humus and it's Joshua by him, and a lot of effort. He does not say the whole effort in a good point here. He's just saying that it's more hidden.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
We were connected to these 10 dibrot. Right? And afterwards, we needed to address these 13 midot. Shehem Kelim, that these were the vessels of how do we grab onto the Torah.
Also in this world.
Also in this world, not just in this like spiritual world.
Yeah, Hashem wants us to know how to serve Him in this world.
Yashar, right? It says that Hashem made man straight.
Yep.
Right?
What do we do? We overcomplicate.
What are we requesting these many?
It's not such a good thing to be busy cheshbonos rabbi. Right? It's too much. It's actually, I think it's a clutter on a certain level. We overthink.
Right. So it says v'lechein ata nikrat haTorah shevi. And therefore,
remember we learned this the other day.
Shevi is like captive.
Yeah, so we got it now. That was one of the kavanas of Birkas HaTorah. I think it was the third part of the Birkas HaTorah. Yeah, but Anasa Nanu Torah Semes, that whole part.
So he says, therefore we call the Torah captive.
We have to bring it back.
Remez imo anochi b'tzara. It says the remez is I am like it is with you.
I am with you in your suffering.
In your suffering.
Psalm Sadik Aleph.
Right? Ki kivyachol haTorah.
He says that underneath.
Yeah. So Sadik Aleph. Yeah. You got it.
Just so I don't have the notes here.
Ki kivyachol haTorah v'musar v'mitzvot gashmiut shebnei Yisrael mekayamim b'galut.
Yeah.
It says that in a manner of speaking, the Torah is this the
handing over
musar v'mitzvot gashmiut.
Yeah.
It's handing over the mitzvot, the physical mitzvot. Shebnei Yisrael mekayamim b'galut. The Bnei Yisrael is fulfilling in exile.
See, it all goes together with the Luchot Shenis. There's a sort of like Golastic Torah. Not that it is, but it feels that way. Like we have to do more. It's Anochi Hashem Basara, like Hashem. So Imo Anochi Basara, that Hashem's with us in the difficulty and the struggle and the hiddenness that we have to break through the choshech seemingly to get to the light. It's not instant. And that's the same with the Golas. We have to get to the Geula, we have to bring the Aleph into the word Golas to make it Geula. It's an effort, it's a voda.
It's a big work. So it says, V'kfi ha'cherut.
For him, he doesn't say anything about the effort. Maybe by him, it's not such an effort. He's Sfas Emmes.
V'kfi ha'cherut shenimtza b'nefashot b'nei Yisrael. According to the freedom that's found in the souls of b'nei Yisrael, kach mitkayem cherut al haluchot. Therefore, we're going to establish this freedom on the tablets. ולכן בשבת קודש שנקראת יום מנוחה וחירות יש התגלות בתורה וזה קריאת התורה בשבת.
Now you see how important.
We see on Shabbos that we have this element. How do we see it? We have Kriyas Torah. We are literally reading it and chanting it and sharing it, and that's an element of
because it's the time of Chayras. The Torah is not draining us a cup. We don't have to worry about money and the world. All we are is in the world of Shabbos. We get a menucha. That menucha is like a little aspect of Cheres of when we got the original Luchos. And then like Moshe himself comes and returns back the crowns that we lost because of the Chay.
Right.
And we get ability to tap back in. And when is that most revealed? During Kriyas Torah.
Beautiful.
And we have the opportunity every Shabbos to tune back into this light. At least one day a week we tune in. Baruch Hashem. And that's the kind of Cheres we want to tune into, and we can access this light. By the way, you should try. I'll just tell you halacha l'maaseh as you brought in Shulchan Aruch. Every Shabbos, most of Shabbos, try write down or bring together or give over something a chiddush. Can't come up with one chiddush every Shabbos, something new that you learn over Shabbos, some new misag, some new insight.
After Shabbos.
Yeah, to write it down. We'll give it over in a shir, or formulate it, write a Sefer Chedushim. A lot of people have a Sefer Chedushim. One of my sons is writing a book. He writes down every
Shabbos.
Yeah, I don't know if he gets it all from Shabbos. I haven't spoken to him about it, and specifically B'dafka Shabbos, but he's writing, he's trying. I used to also write a lot of these things. Now I'm so busy with it, I'm just trying to... Every Shabbos I try to come out with some one nakuda. This Shabbos was a bit harder, I don't know, I had a harder time, I don't know. But generally it's pretty... You come out with like something to get excited about. Someone said something, or Shlomo, or you, or somebody, one of the people from the Luchot. Someone got up and spoke. Like the bris, you spoke beautifully, and you come out of there. Oh, Chiddush. So Shabbos is, because it's such a scalus, you should come out with a new concept. It's like it's more open, and you're more into that realm of Torah and freedom.
Shat Hashem. Shkoyach.
Oh Hashem, it's good learning Sfas Emmes. So we got one more shtick we'll do on Thursday, but it's smaller, but it'll be powerful. That's Hashem. Hashem is helping.